Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's Dean, Dean of Music, and it hurts me to say this, but I'm worried about the fall off. Feeling godly when I walk through the building, I got it all from the confidence escaping my feeling. It's time to ball. As you can tell by my physical media here that all of y'all should be buying, that I'm a J. Cole fan. So this isn't coming from a place of malice. This isn't coming from a place where I want to see it fail. I'm worried about the fall off for two reasons: artistic reasons, and I'm worried about how the project will be received. The reason why I'm worried about how the project will be received because J. Cole really isn't in the best light right now, as far as not his fans, but just the regular people that might listen to one or two songs from Cole but don't really listen to a lot of his catalog. He's in a bad light because of the whole Drake and Kendrick thing, where he was kind of caught in the middle, kind of placed in the middle. He dropped 7 Minute Drill, which I liked. I like 7 Minute Drill. I thought it was a great response to Kendrick, where he was just rapping. He was just taking little jabs at him. He said To Pimp a Butterfly was trash, but I don't agree with that. But he dropped that. I thought it was a good response. Not the best, but I thought, okay, you getting your feet wet in the battle. Like, okay, it's time to go. And then I think it was like a week later, he had Dream Fest or Dreamville, whatever it's called. And then he got on stage before his set and he apologized to Kendrick, and then he took the song down, hence the name Might Delete Later. And musically, I didn't like it.
So I just want to come up here and publicly be like, bruh.
I didn't like that he took the song down. I think he said those words. He recorded that song. He should have stood on what he said. If you still wanted to apologize, okay, cool, but keep the song up. You know what I'm saying? I didn't agree with it musically because as a fan of both Kendrick and J. Cole, I really wanted to see that battle of them just lyrically going at each other, where it's not really anything personal. It was just, artists taking jabs at each other, flipping like their album names or flipping their names or weird stuff that one artist might have said. I was perfectly fine with that. I didn't agree with J. Cole taking it down musically and apologizing musically. But as a person, okay, I can understand it if you felt like you really fuck with both of these. You fuck with both of these dudes, Drake and Kendrick, and you don't want to get caught in the middle in it, or you didn't want to attack your friend in the industry. Okay, I can understand that personally. And there was rumors that I think Schoolboy had told him that this Drake and Kendrick shit is going to get uglier than than they wanted it to be, or what the public thought it was going to be. And Cole could have just been like, you know what, I don't want to be in the middle of that ugly beef, so I'm gonna just step on out and exit right. And if that was the case, then shout out to Schoolboy, because Drake and Kendrick thing did get ugly, but it was a great battle to me. But I'm not here for the Drake and Kendrick shit. J. Cole is not in a good light of people that just listen to rap in general because of the apology. A lot of people think it was soft. And then he started doing records after that where it was just like, okay, but I'm still the best. Anybody that want to battle me or anybody step up could get chopped off. But people was like, but you backed out of the Kendrick battle. So a lot of people didn't understand that, and it kind of just went bad from there. And then there's jokes online. It's always jokes on Twitter or memes or whatever. That's why I don't think the fall off is going to be received well if he's on that lane where he's going like into this lyrical bag where it's like, oh, I'm the best. If he's on that for the whole album, I think it's going to become a meme. The album is going to become a meme where people are making fun of the album because they're just going to say, oh, you backed away from Kendrick and you're still rapping like, oh, anybody can get it. So I don't think it's going to be received well if he goes in that direction, which goes into the artistic direction. Me personally, I'm a Cole fan. As you can see, I love Cole's music. My favorite album from Cole is 2014's Forest Hills Drive. I loved Cole when he was in his storytelling, creative song bag, where the lyricism was still good, but it wasn't like his peak lyricism that he's at now. His peak lyricism now is phenomenal. His patterns is crazy. He gets into different flows, different pockets. Cole lyrically right now is probably one of the top lyricists in the game easily. But those songs don't last long to me. A lot of people said Clouds was their favorite song of last year. I didn't really care for it. The lyricism in Clouds was really great, and it was a great message about AI and people losing their sense of humanality to the, I don't even know if that's a word, but people losing their humanization. I'm just making up words, but to computer screens. I get it was a good message, but to me it wasn't enough substance on the bone for me to keep listening to it. That's why I loved Forest Hills. That's why I loved Born Center. That's why I love Sideline Story. KOD was great when it came out. It didn't age well. For Your Eyes Only. Oh, I forgot to add For Your Eyes Only. Hold on, I forgot I had that album. My bad. I forgot to add that album. I forgot I had this album. Yeah, Cole is. I loved Cole when he was in that storytelling, creative song bag. That's what made me fall in love with Cole. That's what made me a Cole fan. When after I heard him, all right, story time. It was somebody in high school that I went to high school with. He was a big Cole fan my freshman year, and the first time I heard Cole was Who Dat. I think that came out like 2008, 2009. It premiered on BET 106 & Park. Rest in peace to 106 & Park. It was a great show. That's the first time I heard Cole, and I was like, okay, this is a cool song, but it was like, it didn't leave enough on the bone to make me feel like, oh, I need to dig into his music. So, but years passed and Cole dropped Friday Night Lights and the warm up and all of that. I wasn't listening to Cole when those actually came out. And then when I went to high school, it was a dude that was a huge Cole fan. And he was so big of a Cole fan that he made you not want to listen to Cole. He's one of those fans where it was just like, all right, bro, all you talking about is Cole. Like, hop off his wood. Like, come on, I don't care how good you think it is. You bringing up Cole in every conversation. But anyway, so after my freshman year into that summer, I forgot what dedication it was that Lil Wayne had dropped, or I forgot what it was called. But Lil Wayne had put out a mixtape. And Cole was on a song called Green Ranger. And when I heard that Cole verse, I was like, oh, I need to listen to his catalog. And at the time, he only had Sideline Stories out, Friday Night Lights, The Warm Up, and The Come Up. You know that verse where Cole was like, when this shit dropped, I was like 16 trying to get some head from a mixed thing, big dream. Say goodbye to Rick James, nigga, I had a job. That verse right there, great verse by Cole. It made me into a fan. So I was like, okay, let me go back into his catalog, and I listened to it, and I listened to Friday Night Lights and fell in love with it, and then so on, right? But that's the Cole I fell in love when I heard Friday Night Lights, and I heard Grown Simba, and I heard Cost Me a Lot, and Too Deep for the Intro. I love that Cole, where, you know, Cole taps into his personal side and his creative side. I love that Cole. And even KOD has a song like that where it's on there. So artistically, I'm just worried that Cole is still going to be on that lyrical side of things, which is perfectly fine because I know that's the pocket he want to be in. But personally, me as a fan, and this could be just me, not like me expecting something and knowing that he's not in that bag, but I would just love for Cole to get back. Like, give us some songs where it's really creative and you still got a tad bit of lyricism in there, and the songwriting is good. That's the Cole I will want. So that's why I'm worried about the fall off artistically and how people will receive the fall off. Another reason I'm worried about the fall off is the hype. There's a lot of hype for the fall off because Cole has been promoting the fall off since this album. I hope my finger is in the shot, but since this album, the outro on this album is called 1985 Intro to the Fall Off. If you can see it, it's called 1985 Intro to the Fall Off. Now I know what you're thinking. If you don't listen to Cole, or you was living under a rock like Patrick Starr, oh, this album came out a couple years ago. No, nigga. This album came out in 2018. April 20th, 2018. I remember that because God of War, the reboot, came out the same day. It was a great day. So I'm thinking the fall off would have came at that time in 2018. I'm thinking, okay, the fall off is going to come out in at least 2 years because Cole at that time was dropping like every 2 years. So I'm like, okay, it's going to come out in like 2 years. It didn't come out in 2 years. I think he went on like a little hiatus. And Off Season came out in 2021. If I'm pretty sure it came out 2021. I think Middle Child was in between KOD and Off Season. And I loved Off Season when it came out for the lyricism, but I don't really listen to it as much anymore. I love Hunger on the Hillside. That's my favorite song on the album. Hunger on the Hillside and Close. Those are my two favorite songs on that album, and why. Very heartfelt, very in-depth, very introspective. It's a lot of meat to the bone, substance-wise. Other than that, Cole was just rapping on that album, which was great. It was phenomenal rapping. But the songs where you're just rapping, it's like, okay, I love them at first, but then after a year, it's like, okay, I don't want to hear this like that anymore. And then after Off Season, it was Might Delete Later, which had the Kendrick response on there. And I didn't enjoy Might Delete Later as much. It sounded like it was just some songs he put together, hence the name, He Might Delete Later. He just put it out there. And I like the song with Cameron on it, because that beat is fire to me. Even when Cameron and Jewels did it, the beat was fire to me. I like that song. I like the intro with Gucci. I think it was called Pricey. I like the first verse. I didn't really like the second verse. The second verse was okay, but I really loved the first verse. And I forgot what other song it was on there. The song with Daylight and Ab-Soul. Just because of that beat is fire, and I just think Ab-Soul and Daylight sound perfect together. They need to make an album. They probably already got an album, but it was only like 3 or 4 songs I liked on there. I like 3001, but those songs don't stick to me that as much as Sideline Stories, Born Sinner, or 2014. And then he put out after that spare songs that was supposed to be on Forest Hills, because apparently Forest Hills was supposed to be a double album. So he put out extra songs from that, and I love those songs. From Winter Wonderland to Home Soon. I love those songs. Them songs was on my top Spotify rap. I love those records that Cole makes, where he gives you that insight to his life a little bit. Or that's Winter Wonderland, or where he gets very creative, which is Home Soon. I love those records from Cole. Even Black Man in Hollywood, it's another song on there that was kind of like a story. He ended the song like the dude asked him for money to get a gun so he can go back and kill some dudes. I love when Cole is into that bag. So, but back to the hype, is people are very hyped for Cole's album. They were so hyped that people made up rumors the other day that the album was coming out alongside of Drake's Iceman. Drake, you need to change that name. Not to get political with that album, but it's kind of insensitive. You need to change that name. But I'm just worried that it's too much hype and people are expecting too much from the fall off. And granted, he's been teasing the album for now 7 years going on to 8 years. A lot of hype isn't great. It's kind of like with GTA 6 right now. Let me show you something. Hold on, let me show you something. For all y'all people that think this game right here came out 2013. I was a junior in high school. I didn't even have a job yet. Didn't have a car, didn't have a driver's license. This came out 2013. It is now 2026, and GTA 6 is slated to come out at the end of this year, but it's probably not gonna come out at the end of this year. But GTA 6 has a lot of hype. Not comparing the fall off to GTA 6, I'm just speaking in hypotheticals. It's a lot of hype. It's hard to live up to hype that people already got expectations into your head. So when you go into a project or you go into any form of entertainment and you already have this expectation in your head of when you turn it on or when you press play or whatever, you already thinking like, oh, this is supposed to blow me away. This is what everybody has been hyped about, and it leaves you with a bad taste in your mouth. It leaves you with a bad or a wrong. You receive the art wrong when it's too much hype. Instead of going into it with no expectations, it's kind of like why Dre probably never dropped Detox. It's just too much hype behind it, because people been building it up. You've been building it up. You've been saying that the fall off is coming, and I know it's going to come out eventually, but it's just too much hype. It's too much hype. Imagine if to all my people that watch Marvel, imagine if Infinity War came out, and then we had to wait 6-7 years for Endgame. Exactly. So I just hope that, I know Cole is locked in. I know he is. I just hope that the songs, it's the mixture of that lyricism and that substance that I love from Cole. And I just hope that people receive the album, because I think it's still going to be a great album, because I think he's actively been working on the album since he announced it. He's just probably just fine-tuning it and to make sure that it's perfect, which is hard. You just trying to make sure that something's perfect. But that's why I'm worried about the fall off from an artistic standpoint, to how people will receive it and to how much hype it has gotten. That's the only reason I'm worried about the fall off. I still think it's going to be a great album, but if you like this video, leave a like, leave a subscribe. I am a Cole fan. I will say that again. I love Cole's music. I'm not hating on Cole. I just hope that people don't have too much hype for it. I hope artistically it's in the right direction, and I hope people will receive it as well and go into it with an empty mind or a clear mind, because it is a new album. So take it as a new album. Don't go into the album as, oh, this is supposed to be the best thing Cole has ever put out, because I think it's going to be hard for him to top this damn album. This is one of my favorite albums of all time. But yeah, I'm worried about the fall off for those reasons and those reasons only. But it's been the Dean of Music. See y'all next video.